welcome to the channel. In this video I'm going to be going over my current loadout for the Atlas build. I'll make it really nice and quick because not much has changed. I just want to update you all on the current gear that I'm wearing. So long story short, we're going to want either crit resistance or physical aversion on our bodies where we can allow it. And then we just have weapon perks for the rest. So it doesn't have any weapon perks, so it just has physical aversion and crit resistance. And then we have basically for all the gems, since we're in Orichalcum, which gives more physical resistance, we have elemental absorption for the gem slot. Chest, basically Defiant Stance and crit resistance. Hand doesn't have any weapon perks, so crit resistance and physical aversion. And then Sundering Shockwave, crit resistance. And then same thing over here, Path of Destiny with physical aversion. And the shield, what we want here is Fortifying Shield Rush. And the Sturdy Energy, I've been playing around with that and mixing that up either with Sturdy versus that. And I find the main difference is in PvP this is a lot more riskier, as you blocking below 30% stamina leaves you vulnerable to being exhausted. Typically I would let my stamina drop to like 50% before I release block and take some damage, just so I don't go exhausted. But that stamina regen is really good, so it's pick and choose, and you can play however you'd like. I might switch back to this, but I'm gonna test this out for a little bit longer. For jewelry, don't have any gold jewelry at the moment. Still rocking this 570 until I can save up and get a divine and healthy jewelry piece. Those are going for a lot on my server right now. New dungeons coming, or at least new mutations coming out next patch, which will have a jewelry piece that has divine and health, which I will grind for. And then just these other pieces you can get from the dungeon, I'll just farm up and get the gold version and level those up. For weapons, mainly sword again is in the mix. I'm moving around between Trident Recovery on the sword versus Lifesteal, and so far I'm liking Lifesteal a little bit better because I tend to use light attacks more on the sword and shield bar because the heavy attacks don't have grit on them, so it leaves you to be interrupted and stuff like that, and the charge up is just so long and doesn't net as much damage for the given time that I'm charging it up for. So I might switch back to that, and if I do switch back, I'm going to be using a sword like this with Enchanted and Lifesteal. You can farm the Deep Root Sword, which is a legendary sword, has a third perk in addition to these two, but I'm not too much into PvE. I don't think I need the third perk. If I was trying to max it out, then I might, but I'm still moving around and seeing what build works for this playstyle. But for all the videos I've uploaded thus far, it's just been this random sword with backstab damage, which isn't really all that good on the sword and shield bar, because when I CC them and go for the backstab, I switch over to the hammer. And then PvE, just some random swords here. Trident Recovery for PvE isn't bad. And then just some random Trident Recovery on the Warhammer as well. For our PvP Warhammer, we have Trident Recovery and just a secondary perk. This perk is, you can change it for whatever works best for you. This is just a random perk that will give me more damage. For food, I'm sitting at 15.7k health with this 40 constitution food. In terms of attributes, so basically by the time I level up my gear fully, should reach 300 con, and I'll just keep on pushing con as far as possible. But most of my gear right now has strength traits on them, so this might be a little bit challenging. As I upgrade my gear, I might be upgrading strength more than constitution, so I might have to move things around a little bit, but that's a problem for another day. For actual skills, this hasn't really changed from all the iterations of the Atlas build. For the sword and shield bar, we want to be tanky, we must have excess survivability, so We want everything in the defender tree, but we don't really want this because in PvP, blocking for extended periods of time, constantly blocking things will leave you out of stamina, and the 1% just isn't really worth it. I might play around with this, given lifesteal, more damage on that third light attack, might net me more healing, but I have to move around with that. But this is the current build. You don't really want this perk at the moment if you're playing solo, because it's a waste of skill points. It doesn't really give you any benefit for having that. And then these three perks that we've always had: slow, debuff removal, and then increased movement speed while blocking. Hammer hasn't changed. All the passives here, you don't want this. Not really too useful. It might be useful next patch though, when stamina is paused and stamina management is more important. So we might try that again, but as of right now I can't see myself sacrificing any one of these moves. I might have to let this go. This is the least useful of the mix, because mainly when we're on the Warhammer, we're throwing heavy attacks because we have Triton recovery, so we're constantly healing, and we constantly want to ignore all that with penetration and increase our empowerment with our heavy attacks. So this move might go in exchange for this move next patch, but we'll see. And that's pretty much the entire build, at least the update from what we had before. And I'll see you next video. I'll just leave another update again as I change things, but this is basically what I have for all my videos that I've uploaded thus far since my last build video. Until next time, see you on the battlefield.